Hi, this is Anna Nolan. I'm the Social Media Director for School Webmasters, and in this video you will learn about the importance of accessibility along with how to make the documents you post on your school website compliant with Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act. So accessibility refers to the way we design products, devices, service, or environments that make them available to as many people as possible, specifically to people with disabilities. Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act requires that all electronic and information technology be accessible to people with disabilities. Not only are educational institutions bound by these standards, it just makes sense that schools would want their publications to be accessible by everyone. Whether you're updating your school's website yourself or submitting documents to your webmaster to upload it for you, it is the responsibility of school staff to provide Section 508 compliant documents. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to make an accessible Microsoft Word document from scratch, also how to check an existing document for accessibility, and how to convert your accessible document to PDF format. The easiest way to ensure compliance is to keep accessibility in mind when you're creating the documents in the first place. A fully accessible document will meet the following requirements. 1. There will be alternative text on images. Second, there will be style elements. And third, there will be header rows and alternative text on tables. If you remember to include the elements as you go, there should be very little to correct when your document is finished. So let's start with alt text. Every non-text element on your document, so any image, must include alternate text that describes the image. The alternate text allows visually impaired people to understand what the image means to communicate. So to add alt text, we're going to follow these steps. You're going to insert the image as usual. And you can edit it and place it on the page as you wish. And now we're going to insert alt text. So to do that, we're going to right click on the image. And from this pop-up menu, you're going to click Format Picture. So we're going to look at the layout properties, which is this little box right here. And you're going to select alt text. We'll call this Schoolhouse. And now we're just going to describe the picture. And that's it. You can close out here. And now when you see the picture and you were to click here, you'd be able to see the alt text. It should already be there. There it is. So you're going to repeat this process for each image in your document. So per Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act, every image in your document must have alternative text. This includes symbols or lines that are used for decorative purposes, but if the image has no bearing on the overall message of the document, you can actually just use a set of quotation marks in the title and description field, and this will allow accessibility software to just skip the image. So if, for instance, I didn't think that I had an image that added anything important to the message of my document, then when I go in to add the alt text, you can just use a set of quotation marks in both of these fields. The only thing you can't do is leave the fields empty. If you do that, it will come up as a non-compliant document. So if it's an important image that helps communicate part of a message for your document, you need to describe it in detail. If it's not important to the message of the document, you can just include the quotation marks, and then people's screen readers will just skip the image altogether. The next requirement for accessibility is using style elements for headings and subheadings or titles in your document. Style elements help people use screen readers to hear the text in an organized manner. So that allows those people equal access to the material that you're presenting. Style elements are easy to use, and if you remember to include them as you create your document, you won't have to worry about going back and adding them later on. So let's add a title. And now we'll add a style element. You just highlight the text, and from up in your home menu, you're going to choose one of these headings, and you can hover over them to see how the different styles will look. I'm going to select title. And Word will automatically apply the new style to the highlighted text only. Again, this is only to the text you've highlighted. So you'll have to go in and do this with every title, with every subtitle, and just make sure that you're using at the very least the title style or heading number 1. Either of those will ensure that your document passes a compliance check. The other styles you can use as needed, but at the very least you should be using these two. The final thing that your document needs in order to be considered compliant is that your tables must include a clearly defined header row, which is the first row in the table, so that screen readers can easily read and understand the table. The table also needs to include alt text that describes the content, just like you did for images. So you'll start by creating a table. Now you're going to click on the 4-way cursor at the top left corner. That's this little guy right here. From here, you'll select Design and choose a table format from the Table Styles group. Any of these formats will comply. Next, place a check mark in the header row box in the Table Styles option. So mine's already checked, but if this is unchecked, make sure that you check it. Now select Layout. And from the top of the page, click on Repeat Header Rows. Finally, you'll add alt text by right-clicking on the table, choosing Table Properties, select Alternative Text, and hit OK. Now your table is compliant. Next, let's talk about checking your existing Word document for accessibility. Whether you've created the document with accessibility in mind or you have a previously created document and you're not sure about it, you should always check the document before converting it to PDF format, which is something we'll address in a minute. To test how accessible your document is or isn't, we're going to use Microsoft Word's built-in accessibility tools. There are more thorough compliance tools out there, but MS Word allows you to target any issues you may need to correct in order to stay compliant. With your Word document open, we're going to go ahead and select File and choose Check for Issues. Now choose Check Accessibility. Now the Accessibility Checker pane will show up on the right side of your screen, and you will get your inspection results, which will show any errors or warnings per Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act. You can click on the errors to learn about how to correct them, and you can use the steps you learned earlier to repair your document's accessibility and make it compliant. So let's take a look at our results. First, it shows missing alt text. That was something we talked about earlier. I went ahead and added another picture down here so you could see that it would actually show up in the accessibility checker. So we need to add it. And once we do that, you can see that that error went away. Another thing that shows up, and this isn't something we kept in mind when we created the document, are some repeated blank characters. When a screen reader sees a lot of spaces or blank characters in a row, they will read them as blanks, and then the person using the screen reader might think that they've reached the end of the document. So we need to delete these. You can click on the characters to find out where they are, and all you have to do is hit delete. Now you are allowed to use like one single space to separate, and as you can see, that won't show up as an error. So now your document is compliant. And the next thing we're going to do is convert it to PDF, which is Portable Document Format. The reason we do this is that PDF is the universally recognized format for web documents. Screen readers can view a PDF on both Macs, and PCs, as well as on mobile devices. Converting your Word document to PDF is really easy. All you need to do is go to File. You're going to choose Export, Create PDF. It will give you the option to save it to your computer. You'll publish. Now you'll be able to see your newly converted PDF, which will open in Adobe Acrobat Reader. If you don't have the free Adobe Reader, you can download it here. And that's all there is to it. School Webmasters is dedicated to providing accessible web content, and we're happy to help you rest assured that the documents you make available on your school websites are compliant with Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act. And even more important than being sure you're following regulations, you can feel good knowing that these important school documents are accessible to everyone in your community. If you have any questions, please visit our website's accessibility tips page, and thank you so much for watching.